Stuck a lock on the seafront as a memory, as a keepsake, so it's locked in forever of Eddie Howe's Champions League mags. So me and Eddie Howe are tied in forever. I hope the boards stay the same, and he is with Newcastle forever, but it's on the board. Welcome back to Black and White Banter, you lovely Newcastle fans. It is day 4, and this is a bit of a mellow day, so finally I can just chill. There's no events, it's the day after the game. Obviously, if you haven't already seen me match vlog from Aston Villa, drop down and give that one a little watch. It was an amazing day. I didn't go out after, so it's almost the first day that I haven't woke up feeling rough. I've had a full night's sleep, I've got a coffee, I've just had a bagel, so I'm going to spend today experiencing a little bit of Philly. I've got no one to report to, no bars to go to, no events. I can just take a chill pill. And I'll tell you what, I woke up from that sleep this morning feeling like the Terminator. I felt literally like I'd had some sort of illegal substance. That's how great it felt to just get some proper sleep. So I'm just going to soak up Philly. I've got a very early flight to Atlanta in the morning. I don't know whether I'm going to make it for the training ground event, but the coffee tastes beautiful, and no alcohol is going to pass my lips for at least the next 24 hours. One person I am joined by today, which is nice, is the gentleman who I have spent pretty much in our apartment the whole trip with. So me and Timothy, we got in touch again through social media, very similar to Colin. If anyone's watched my previous videos of the drive down with Colin, we reached out. Accommodation and prices in Philly were very expensive. We were both travelling solo, so we agreed to look at some apartments. We had a quick video call, and yeah, that's why I absolutely love this football club and everything that it represents, because we'd never met each other and we jumped straight into talking about sharing a place together. The place on the very sketchy street, but we both alive to tell the story. So yeah, I've been joined by him for a lovely little coffee before he gets, how many hours? 7 hours?
7.5.
7.5 hour train back to Pittsburgh. He's just enjoying his coffee with me. It's the end of the trip now. Obviously, it's the day after match day. What is your first question? Has to be, what has your experience been like?
Incredible. It was great seeing, an American fan, seeing all the Geordies come here and travel and make that trip is just exactly why you love the club. You can see people travel and do that. Just a good time. Every single person just had a big smile on their face all day. It was great.
And obviously, what I love to hear about your story when we first reached out to each other a couple of weeks ago was you telling me how long you've supported Newcastle without actually being able to see them live. And I'm hearing that loads on this trip, and that really resonates for me. How amazing this pre-season tour is for you guys. So how long's it been?
About 20 years, probably, give or take, like late Sir Bobby era. Probably when I started following, but not to the point where I was probably watching every match and stuff. Was probably a little after that. And then, what was the second part of that?
Just what is obviously how important this pre-season tour is for?
Yeah, I mean, you get the thing, I don't know, like everybody asks if you're an American fan, like how do you pick a club? And it's not, city or art, whatever. Arsenal, I mean, it's a one club town. You can see the fans are passionate, remind me of Pittsburgh. I mean, everybody have unique accents, makes fun, travels away games well. It's just, similar teams. I loved it.
Excellent. And can you just confirm for anyone who might have watched my videos about where we were staying in Philly? We have both survived. We didn't get attacked on the street in the sketchy area we were staying in.
Yeah, so we were in West Philly. So I mean, any Fresh Prince fans know that when Will got sent to Bel Air, I guess that's probably why. But no, it was. I talked to your neighbors. It was nice. No issues. We're great. And
you're obviously from Pittsburgh. You're getting a long train home today. With regards to the whole experience yesterday at the game itself, the Aston Villa game, what did you think of that? Did it live up to expectation for you, or did you maybe expect a bit more, a bit less? No,
it was great. I mean, it's a friendly. I didn't expect it was going to be, a match where everybody's going, trying to dive for every 50-50 ball. But yeah, it was fun. I mean, fun to see. You got to see, everybody scored, singing the whole time. It was an absolute blast. Exactly what I wanted.
We were chatting yesterday and talking about lots of, we literally, if you could have heard the chats we were having in the bar after the game yesterday, I was doing quick fire Newcastle questions, but for me, what I'm curious about going into next season, where do you see us getting next year? Like, are you fancying Champions League again? Are you fancying a decent run in the Champions League next season? What's your predictions?
So yeah, last season I think I had us 8th. I'm probably with the Europe and stuff that I would say 6th. I don't know if we got to top 4 again, but I think we make it past to the
And what about
in
the cup competitions?
I hope we make another run again. I don't know, I think at least now, I think the squad's big enough where they can have a go at it early. So, I'm not going to predict, but I think a long Champions League run is going to be what happens.
Just my last question, and I haven't asked any American fans I've spoke to yet this question. What would you say to any American fan who is maybe likes the look of Newcastle but doesn't really know where to meet anyone, how to feel a bit more of the club, as an American fan who's never watched his team play live in Newcastle but has supported the team for as long as you have? What would your advice to that person be who's just a little bit distant from the club because of where they're based? Because all I've seen on this trip is fans who are just as crazy, just as passionate as what I see in England, but 3,000 miles away. So what would your advice to that person be?
Every major city has a supporters club that usually anywhere from there's 12 of us in Pittsburgh anytime. I think they said about 20, 30 here out in Philly. I mean, you can find Facebook or Twitter. You can find people. Watch a match or two with people and see if it's for you.
Excellent.
And it will be.
Thank you, definitely. Oh, it's been lovely to just relax today. I've had no events to go to, no meet-ups, no beers in my hand. I had a good night's sleep last night. I've just sat and people watched with a coffee in my hand all afternoon in the sunshine. The series is right so far for me. It is always sunny in Philadelphia, but I'm just in a taxi now, and I've tried a Philly cheesesteak in the past. When I was here in 2017, I went to a place I was recommended. I wasn't a fan. It was quite greasy and it was a bit too much for me, for my palate. I'm not a doner kebab man at all in England. But I'm going to allow myself to maybe be swayed otherwise. So I'm going to try one again. I'm going to another recommendation. It's called Oh Brother. I've had a couple of comments from Toonami Philadelphia that's told me to try here. So let's give a cheesesteak another go. One more go. See whether I can be converted. So we just arrived. Oh, that was good. That was good timing, wasn't it? We've just arrived outside Oh Brother's Cheesesteaks. So let's get inside and see what Philly has to offer with a bit of beef and some bread. Right, I let the guy who works in here totally freestyle with this sandwich. So I said, look, I've had one before, I didn't like it, so just tell me what to recommend. He hasn't even told us which one he chose. This is apparently the guy who works here's favourite. It looks pretty good. It does look pretty good. Right, here goes nothing. That's better than the last one I had. That's much better than the last one I had. It's really salty though. You get a shit ton of steak, so it's pretty good value for money, but that's nice. There's peppers, onions going on. That's nicer than a doner kebab, I tell you. I'm impressed. Fair play to the guy who ordered this one for me. Now, I don't know whether anyone's like me, but I'm just not really into my museums and stuff. And when you search things to do in Philly, it's like go to the Liberty Bell, go to the Independence Hall. It's just not my thing to just go and stare at something and then walk off and take a photo that you'll never ever use again. Maybe it's uploaded onto Facebook, but nobody cares about that. The same as they don't care whether you need to know whether the Chinese is open. So I try and look into unusual things to do in Philly. And one of them that came up repeatedly was to go down the waterfront and spend some time here. I didn't know this existed the last time. So I'm currently just sat in a beautiful bar overlooking the water with a pint in hand. I said I wasn't drinking again, but when you're sat here overlooking the bridges and the water, one's not going to do us any harm. It's absolutely lovely. I mean, it's nothing on the quayside. Obviously, I'd rather be down the quayside in Spoon smashing a beer and a burger, but it's not far off. Philly's pretty nice. Philly is pretty nice. So that bloke in the boat there is basically the American equivalent of when you get a lad on the bus back in England who plays chavvy music out loud and it annoys everyone. That's what he's basically doing. Absolutely embarrassing. This harbour park is nice. It's like if the quayside had loads of different stalls on it. It's, you've got the boats you can walk out onto for food. You've got food stalls, sweets, ice creams, parks. It's really chill. It might be just chill because I'm used to craziness of football for the last 2 days, but it is nice and relaxing down here. And that's just about a wrap for me for the day on this one. I'm going to go home and get some kip. I felt like a new man today after getting some sleep last night, but it's just been nice to have a down day and soak up what has been an amazing 3 days of what feels like hospitality from Toonami Philadelphia and all the American fans that have travelled in from different places. I've been able to process it a little bit, look through my photos, watch my vlogs back, which have been amazing. and just enjoy a bit of quiet time and a bit chill. I didn't want to do a video that wasn't football related, but the last one I did on my travels into America, people commented saying they wanted to see a bit more of that. So I was never going to do the Rocky Steps. I've done it. You video yourself running up and down them, you store it somewhere. It's a bit of a fun of a joke, but I've been there before. I didn't want to do any museums, so I wanted to see whether my cheesesteak opinions could be changed, which they have been. And anyone, make sure you go down the waterfront. I'm going to grab an ice cream on the way home. It's Atlanta in the morning. First thing, I've got a flight at 8:40 that gets in just about an hour and a half before the open training session with the Newcastle players happens. Am I going to make it? Well, it's going to be like Home Alone running through the airport. It's going to be a mad dash to get to me hotel, drop me bags off and go straight to the open training ground session. I don't want to miss it, but it should be an interesting chase to get there. Fingers crossed there's no flight delays. So will I get on that flight? I don't know. But Newcastle fans, if you've liked this slightly more chilled video the day after all the craziness, drop us a like, drop us a subscribe, and make sure you come to Philadelphia. The only way I can describe Philly is it's a slower, calmer version of New York. Lovely, lovely people, lovely city, pretty nice weather, and I would definitely come back. On to Atlanta and New Jersey we go. You've got a lot to do to match what Philadelphia have done for this first game of the pre-season tour. I'll see you on the next video, Newcastle fans. Away the lads.